Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Thank you for joining us today. It's nice to see some familiar names and faces and some new ones as well. We're excited to have everyone joining us this afternoon. And we understand that people are joining on their lunch breaks and in between meetings. So we're going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to get settled in before we get the presentation started. Once you're ready, please go ahead and use the chat to send us a quick introduction. We'd love to see your first name, your role, and the organization that you're with today. Hello, thank you. Welcome. If you're just joining us, please feel free to use the chat to introduce yourself. So go ahead and add your name and your role at your company in the chat. Awesome, thank you. And we'll have everyone stay muted upon entry. We will have an opportunity at the end. We'll have a little Q&A where we can unmute if there is time for additional questions. We do have some questions that came in on our registration link as well. Thank you. I see those introductions coming in the chat. Please keep those coming. And we will also be recording. We are recording. You probably already saw that as you had to consent to it. We'll be recording this webinar today so that we can share it out by the end of the week with everyone who registered, in case you have any coworkers or colleagues that are interested in joining in on the conversation after the fact. Awesome. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I saw a note that someone was having trouble with audio. Can you all hear me? Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you for the feedback. All right. If you're just popping in, hello and welcome. We have introductions going on in the chat. If you're able to pop in there and add your name and the company you're representing and your role there, we would love to see your introduction. And again, we are recording this to be sent out after the webinar is over, in case you have anyone you'd like to share it with or someone who couldn't attend today. All right, thank you. Feel free to continue wrapping up those introductions in the chat. Please keep them coming. Those are great. And I will go ahead and get started with our introduction here. So in today's event, we will explore the future of digital marketing. I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Dano Ehler. Dano is the co-founder and senior vice president of sales at Digital Marketing Group. He founded the company with colleague and longtime friend, Stephen Hodges. Ehler sold digital and traditional media for 20 years, most recently at Fox 12, Oregon. After witnessing firsthand how digital altered the way advertisers reach their consumers, Ehler sees the opportunity to create a company focused entirely on digital. As Senior Vice President of Sales, Dano enjoys the opportunity to inform, educate, and implement all that digital marketing has to offer. Today, he is here to share with us data and insights into the ever-changing worlds of digital marketing, including consumer data and insights. We're excited to have Dano with us today, and with that, we will turn it over to you. Thank you again, and welcome, Dano.
Thank you very much, Kayla. I really appreciate that. It's actually been close to 9 years that I've been out of TV. So I formerly came from TV and a radio background in marketing sense. But then I saw digital coming. The wave of digital came in 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and I jumped on it. So thank you, everybody, for taking the time to attend this. We will keep it within an hour. I promise. Questions always push that back, but I know it's the lunch hour for a lot of people. So it looks like that there's a lot of marketing directors, business owners, agency, in-house marketers attending today. And when we look at the future of digital marketing, boy, there are two big words there, future and digital. Digital is probably the biggest marketing word. As you guys know, you work in it already, but boy, it takes a lot of turns. The ecosystem is huge. So we're going to open this up, and just bear with me because the first slide is looking past. And with the titles of most of you, you'll look at this and kind of laugh, but we're going to take a look at what got us to the digital ecosystem that we currently live in, because it shows us the future. It really does. You'll see where this is going to go. So we'll look at the past and the current. And as we go through the current slides, we're talking about the future. It's actually my take on this today. It's not hard to predict the future of digital advertising. Well, you think I'd be a millionaire if I had the answer to that. It's using the same things that we currently use for the future, just in different ways, which you'll see. So I point that as something nobody can disagree on. So we're going to look at data collection in great detail. Actually, I was going to keep this at a high level for data collection, but it's the engine that drives all of digital marketing and advertising is data and the correct use of data. So we're going to go really down on the ground. I'm going to show you some live examples of data to be able to discuss the future with and what the future holds. Okay, so again, evolution of digital marketing. It goes way back. The first digital ad in 1994. But let's take a look at this. Again, just bear with me. You guys know a lot of this stuff already, but let's look at the evolution of it. We used to have traditional media, radio, TV, newsprint, outdoor, all really sitting there. Okay, back then we thought, oh, we drove audiences to those medias and stuff. They actually just sat there. We picked our favorite TV station, picked our favorite radio station. We received direct mail sitting there. It really wasn't pushed to us or pulled that digital marketing does now. It just kind of sat there. And marketers, up until like 15 years ago, thought they had some really good data to use. For anybody that's been around, I'm probably the oldest in the room here, but you know, we had Scarborough data, first-party form fills, CRM data, geo demo marketing data that was purchased from direct mail or cable subs to use. That was really good data. Okay, but it wasn't until the advent, I'm going to the left of this screen here, browsers, you got Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, search engines, you got Google, the massive one coming out. It wasn't until those happened until we really hit into the platforms that took advantage of consumers having access to the World Wide Web. I know this is a while ago, but then it opened up all these platforms, and you got payment platforms, form fills, Google with SEM, SEO, Google Analytics, online ads, tag management. That's when the ecosystem really started to develop. And then most recently with the social platforms, content syndication, wearables, cross-device, omni-channel marketing, on and on. That's really where we've arrived at today, right now. And what it is the limitations for the marketer before in regards to data. Now, as you'll see, marketers have, and this what you guys are going to know in this meeting: conversion tracking, predicted purchases, source attribution, consumer and marketing information, post-view attribution, post-click attribution, and on and on. Okay, I did kind of just for fun, if no one's ever seen it. Have you ever clicked your mouse right here? That is the first display ad in 1994. And it was clicked by 40% of the people that saw the ad. Amazing CTR, incredible CTR. And it was a AT&T ad. So that's kind of fun to look at. So now we go from consumers having access, but now marketers having access to consumers like never before. And it's been happening for a while. And it's due to one thing here. Again, I don't expect you to be able to see all this. This is a poster that I have on my office, the MarTech technology, the MarTech landscape as it exists. Look how big the ecosystem is. If I did this for the automotive industry and just the number of automotive retailers and stuff, it wouldn't be this big. As you guys know and work inside, look how big the word digital is to everybody, and there's so many different ways to use it in the future. And now we're gonna look at these ways. But you got, the explosion of mobile marketing, display ads, native ads, email marketing, on and on, tracking, conversions, creative content management, SEO, SEM. You guys, I mean, I'm not going to read all of this, but you see how big the ecosystem is. The funny part is, this is a poster. Seriously, it's right behind me on the wall. This is from 2015. Is the funniest part of this. And I pulled up the current one, the MarTech for the current one. You couldn't even read it. It was just all dots and stuff. So really what drives this so very well, okay, and you guys know about this, the foundation of digital advertising was created, the foundation of it, really, that started the recipe, a lot of you know what I'm about ready to say, is the cookie placed in the browsers, okay? But there's a lot more than that. And so if we pulled this up now, the middle part of this, the yellow part of this, the biggest part of digital advertising right now is the data management platforms, the DMPs, in a big way, the tag management platforms for attribution, identity, the APIs and the connections and the AI technology. So looking at this, I'm just going to tell you right now, the thing that ties all of this together is data. Okay? And I'm saying things you can't disagree with. We all work with data, but how much do we really understand the data that we'll be working with in the future? You in your role, whether it's a marketing director, an agency head, or in-house marketing, okay, you got data. Yeah, we're reaching the right people and stuff. Is that good? How do we optimize to data? It's all about data, as we all see in the trades right now. Absolutely. Okay, so let's have a little fun here. I'll ask you guys a hypothetical question. What are you worth to the biggest tech companies? And we can play with this and add it up different ways and stuff. But did you know you're worth, just take a wild guess for Facebook. About $160. As a customer of Facebook, you're worth about $160. Customer of Google, $182. Twitter, about $81. LinkedIn, about $70. You're worth as a customer. Now you might be saying, no way, how can that be? Well, I asked the question, what are you worth as a customer? This is simply the users divided by the market cap of the company. So it's just you as the individual company. If I were to ask the question, and here's what we're talking about right now, a lot of the future, if I were to ask the question, what is your data worth? You couldn't say. Be pretty hard to answer that. I know it would. I've tried, but companies really don't release that. Now, if you were one company out of millions being tracked and advertised to, in the marketing landscape, and one person bought something, you would know the company would know the ROI on that click. Okay, you could start figuring it out there. But lifetime of purchases for million of customers using data to target is huge. It's worth much more than maybe I have in my bank account. I'll tell you that. And we're going to talk about that in the future. Not my bank account, but data. Okay. So you guys, a lot of experience here, but I see you guys everybody here knows what first-party data, second-party, and third-party data is, okay? And I apologize if you know this already, but we're going to go through it in order to explain the real-life examples that we're going to look at that are currently happening and that will happen in the future, okay? Hey, Kyla, if you see immediate questions, I could be stopped down, just so you know. First-party data collection, and this list by no means covers it all. I mean, this is embarrassingly small, by the way. But mobile apps, okay, and SDKs, okay, a lot of data collected from mobile apps in a big way, and you'll see a real-life example of that real soon. Website trackers, pixels, we know what a pixel is that we get on our website to track and retarget, okay, and much more than that. Social media, bar none, hands down, a lot of data collected. There's a question coming up later on in the presentation about, you know, Facebook, the major social media. It's actually not anymore. Limiting their use of data. Okay, that's been huge. Okay, but there's still a lot of data being collected. Email, I think a lot of you maybe signed up for this with an email address. There's data in there. You can put pixels in an email, as you guys know. Surveys, beacons, our phone walks by something, our phone goes by in the airport. That's a beacon technology that picks up our phone and a lot of the first-party data on it. Pretty much, I consider phone data that we get, and you'll see examples of this. Phone data, I consider it first party because we're putting it in there and we approve and give permission for all of our apps. So I always call it first party data. Customer service interactions. Okay, so there's permission-based CRM. People putting in their information, their address, and their phone number so they can get the newsletter or they can get the coupon from the retailer. All of that is saved, and you gave it permission. So a marketer or anybody else, if it's second party, that's when it's sold, can use that information. Okay, and we all know that. Point of purchase data, you bet, and that's part of a CRM system if you're connected into the CRM system already. Point of purchase data for what you purchased. Okay, how much gasoline did I buy from Chevron in the last year? That's point of purchase data. Okay, if I'm in their system, there's a lot you can do with that, and we'll talk about examples later on. Direct mail, I love it, still around. You know, you thought it would be dead by now. Still around and actually still works. I mean, I opened a piece of direct mail the other day. So that is first party data collection in a big way. Third party data collection, here we go with the biggie, web server cookies, which is all in the news right now. The cookie's going to crumble, it's gone. What do we do as digital marketers? Okay, we'll be just fine, as I'll explain later. I'm not going to get in all the technical aspects of it, but the ecosystem is so large when the cookie crumbles, and it already has to some extent. I'll show you ways that are currently being implemented without a cookie, a bunch of them. Those will continue. Okay, so again, third-party data collection, public records. So if you don't know this, you know, and you're a marketer and you need to target a certain demographic group that voted a certain way, that's all available to the public. Public records for voting, public records for where people live, the size of your house. There's an abundant amount of just open to the public records. Surveys are public records sometimes too. Government and nonprofits many times are just an open book required by law to get that data collection in there. You know, and they have Excel sheets you can download. And what's a good example? Transportation. I'm sitting in Oregon right now. The Oregon Transportation Department has a wealth of information about the roads being used and the frequency of it, on and on, available to the public. And you're going, why would that be interested me in marketer? Well, I want to target a certain area, a certain street, or what have you, on and on and on. Weather data. Okay, well, we can all get the weather data, and I can actually get the weather data looking way back. Okay, too bad we can't get it for the future, but that's why we have weathermen on there. But why would weather data be important to use as data for marketing sense? Well, if you're doing display ads on a rainy day and they seem to be working better than on a sunny day, well, attach that creative to weather data where it's sunny, and then only that creative can show. or syndicated content during good weather days. Your content could be, happy in a beach and vacation stuff versus a rainy day. It's inside, cup of coffee in your content and relaxing and that type of thing. I could go on and on and on. So there's also location data. Okay, so as we talk about the cookie crumbling right now, location data, okay, and mobile app data and behavioral, contextual targeting, behavioral targeting. I'm kind of giving away the punchlines here, but that's really where everything has gone already, okay? So how do we use all this data that we don't know how much we're worth? I wish I could sell mine. Join a union and sell it, and that's already in the works. We'll talk about that later. So how is the data used? If you as a marketer are not using data to optimize your campaigns, well, I won't answer that. I'm just saying digital affords us as marketers the opportunity like never before in time. I'm talking even 5 years ago, the opportunity to optimize a campaign, okay? And whether that's optimizing creative, to the data you're getting from a campaign, whether it's a click or a bunch of views on a social piece of content, or on and on and on. If you should be using data on a daily basis, you will. I have a whole team that does it. That's all they do is optimize for campaigns going forward. Okay, digital affords you that, and if you don't have access to the data, you can buy it from a digital marketing company. Or if you're working with a company, demand the data, it's there. There are too many companies right now working with marketers like yourself. They take a budget in and they place a campaign and it spins out on a platform. Even if it's SEO, SEM, we all know how that works, or a digital display campaign. And just to advertise, it just spins, it needs to be optimized. Every digital campaign, and this just comes from my own experience, needs its hand held on a daily basis. We could throw in any campaign on a platform just to spend out, and then you get nice looking, good reports and stuff. Every digital campaign needs to be optimized and managed by a human being, pretty much. I mean, if you really, really want to put the secret sauce on it. And we'll discuss that later. I know there's a question that's coming up in regards to odd apps and how to build that. Source attributions. Again, a lot of you are already going to know this. Hey, I can attribute right now to where I placed an ad and I know it was placed on a certain site, and then they end up buying something on my site or doing a form fill, signing up for my school or whatever the KPI is, or they land on a landing page. I can source that right now. So I hope that you guys are all sourcing this, and you can source it back 2 or 3 different parts of the sales funnel for them. Conversion tracking. Did they click on the ad that you put out there? Did they click on the piece of social content that you have out there to get to a landing page or a form fill? Or did they just see your ad out there in the digital sense? And when I say ad, boy, there's a lot of different platforms. You all know which one should I be working with. So I'm just saying that in a general sense. But there's reporting where if they saw the ad and then ended up on you or your client's website, you could see that. It's a post-view report. They didn't click the ad, but boy, they end up on my website. Us as marketers really like that because we can say, look, client, they saw the ad and they ended up on your website. Well, maybe it was the SEO that did that as well. Well, combination. There's so many different forms of data. There's never one point of data that can drive a digital marketing campaign. Never one. There's usually about 150 of them. Okay. So immediate A/B testing, that's with data. Let's put up 10 different ad sets for 3 weeks. Which ones are getting, depending on your KPI, which ones are getting the biggest click, or depending on the branding, which ones are appearing on websites or in blogs or content in social that we like, the contextual part of it, which ones appearing most. You can see that immediately. You can see it in 2 days, but you want to give it, the test to define it as a test time to work. But never before has you been able to optimize just for creative with A/B testing. Like right away. Talk about saving a lot of money for your clients. If you're not A/B testing in digital, I would recommend that you should be. Digital affords you that opportunity. Why not do it at least a week and a half, no matter what it is? If it's social content, display ads, even SEM keywords, well, that kind of ferrets itself out, but you should be A/B testing all the time and predicting purchases. So this is where the data comes in. We know we can find out what was purchased in the past. We've all gone online, maybe bought some shoes on a website. Okay, they're going to predict maybe that you need socks, to be really generic, sorry. And then all of a sudden you get ads for socks. Okay, that's great. That's the oldest form of retargeting in the world. It's been around forever. Everybody thinks that's predictive purchasing. In a way it is, yes, okay. But with data sets that we can use and implement inside of campaigns that a digital company would use, okay, or you get the data, you could predict purchases. So you could, if you have a data set of a certain demo and you know they purchased a car in the last year, you can predict a purchase. Maybe it's a floor mat or what have you. Again, you need to apply this to each one of your businesses, okay? So I hope you guys don't mind, but I pulled some actual data like last week to explain this. And I'm not here to explain, here's how to do a marketing campaign, but I want to show you, because it kind of does to some extent, but I want to show you actual examples. These are the type of things that are used in the future. So the easiest one to look at, and I just pulled this out of our system actually, and I have whited out the telephone number of the individual just to be nice, didn't have to. This is CRM data. So first party data, those who have first party data are going to win in the future of advertising. I promise it. It's going to be the Google and their walled garden of first party data is going to win. Facebook and first party data is going to win. But here's an example of CRM data collection. For those that already work with CRM data, hopefully I say a couple nuggets for you, but it's pretty obvious what you have with this. You have the first name, the last name, the title, the company that they're from, email address, and their phone number and the industry that they're in. So let me just pick an easy one. If you want to do a digital display campaign for them, okay, you take that data, the CRM data, place it into a data management platform working with a demand side platform. And again, I'm not going to get technical. This is all out there that you guys may be working with it already, but you have access to any funny acronym that I say, you have access to it. But we could target, let's just say I want to target people in the business services area. You can take that CRM data, break it out, and just target them with an ad or email address, okay? If you didn't know this, we can take, the industry right now can take email addresses, okay? So I'm switching up on you on what you can do with this data. Take email addresses and convert those into IP addresses, okay? So if I have 1 million email addresses, conversion rate that we do about 60%, okay, into devices, into the person's home, into an IP address, to target them with an email campaign, a display campaign, or what have you. So this is a real live example. And again, I am just touching the surface because the future brings so many more things to use. Okay, here's another one. Okay, so this is website tracking data. If you don't have one of these pixels on your site, then you don't need customer information that came to your site. I pulled this last week for the month of March. Actually, I had it saved in a file. Pulled it for the month of March. This is my website. Actually, I crossed out the last names again, just to be nice. All websites now are permission-based, so they've already permitted me to gather this information. But this, if I pulled up this whole sheet, not only do we have the first name and the middle name and the last name and the address and the zip code, but I go into job title, I go into email address, I have access to many, many, many more things. And it's not a perfect system. Somebody out of Facebook was on my site the other day, and it actually, it wasn't Zuckerberg, but it had a large executive's name on there because it just attributes to the information that they have on file. So, but again, you guys can see what I previously explained was the ability to use this data, again, in a digital campaign in all different forms. Let me pull up another one. Here, I'll answer a hypothetical question again. Who has their cell phone with them right now? I mean, pretty obvious, right? We all have it. This is an example that was collected. We pulled this for July, just did this last week, a few days at the California State Fair. And I wanted to pull one that maybe you guys would be interested in. I like fairs, by the way. But this is an example of pulling data in the past, July 15th through the 22nd, okay? And for the Sacramento State Fair, which is right in there, this heat map to the right, this shows where most of those mobile devices that attended the fair, where they live. And in pulling this, actually, it's about a 3.5 day poll. I had 4,442 unique devices. So guess what we can do as marketers? Okay, I hash those, I throw them into a DMP or a DSP or what have you, throw them into a company like mine, and I'm able to target those people, certainly with display ads. And let me show you another one. Here's Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Hopefully a couple of you know about that type of thing. So here's what I pulled. I did a 12-month look back, and I threw a signal down right here. That is the golf course right there, that triangle. And I threw it down for the past 12 months. I just pulled this last week. We have the ability to look back. If you guys don't know about exhaust data, digital marketing companies, I can go back to a year, which I did with this, to look, and we collected, or anybody that you're working with can collect devices that were in the golf course for the past year. With those devices, with this, for a 12-month look back, it's quite a long time, close to 30,000 devices that we're able to collect that I know were on the golf course, and 208,000 total visits on the golf course. Inside that data, I mean, this I could show you reams just from this poll alone, data poll alone, and data set. The data sets that we get from this are amazing. I can get the zip code of where that person lives. Now, I'm not getting the name. There's no individual personalized information here. This is all legal. Visits by the hour at the golf course, visitor frequency, and visits. This was pulled on a Wednesday, excuse me. So I guess I pulled it on a Wednesday. And then that data comes to a digital marketing company like I did in device IDs. This is kicker right here. This is key. This isn't a pixel at all. This is the ID of my device, of every device that is sitting next to you right now, has its own ID. You guys know that, okay? But with this data collection, let me see. Yep. With this data collection right here, there's device ID. Now this is hashed, makes it legal. I can't attach, or somebody that you're working with can attach that device ID to an individual's name. Impossible to do, makes it legal. So we hash, it's called hashing the device ID. And then when it goes into one of your marketers or yourself into a marketing campaign, it's unhashed. So nobody sees it, but those work in the back end, which aren't people type of thing. Yep, these are all pulled the exact time they're pulled and everything. So furthering that information, again, I'm pointing out one of many different data sets. They could be data sets from a phone. They could be data sets from a website pixel. They could be data sets from a CRM, what have you. These are examples of how you, as a marketer, could use these data sets to make your campaign more effective. And here, I could pull out data sets for income that visited that golf course. So if I want the people just made 60,000 to 120,000, I pull that as a data set. Oh, and then I just want the females that golf as a data set. So I combine those two. And I want those that contribute to charity a big way. And I make a data set out of that. And much more. I mean, you guys see, I can go on and on and on here. How data should be used. Here is the same data set for the golf course. Okay, the golf course is right in here. Obviously, the most of the state there. This is a data set showing me where those people live. And again, technically, this is just for devices. I can't say a name, but I have their address type of thing. And maybe I want to do a direct mail, an SEM campaign in a certain zip code. Well, here's their address, the zip codes that I want. These are the pink are the most devices from that golf course. Okay. The yellow are the second most, and then the blue are way out of here. They're traveling from out of town to go to the golf course, which still may want to be targeted. Okay. I got to step down, just give you an example for data. So if you're a marketer and either your customer or your existing business has competitors in there, I'm going to back up one slide here. Boom, boom, boom. And they have competitors. Let me point out an example. And this is a real life example. We do it all the time. Let's say you have a casino in there. You pull a data set, something like this, or another type of data set that's available out there. We would be here for all week if I talked about all the different data sets. But let's say you have a casino in a state, and they have two competitors that are 30 miles away and 60 miles away. Why would you not, as a digital marketer and all the tools and resources available to you, pull a data set from their competing locations? So you pull a data set from their competing locations and you find out all the marketing data information that is inside there on that data set: age, income, leisure habits, travel. I mean, on and on and on. You guys are used to all the demos and the marketing information you can find, and then be able to target that competing address. Okay, let's say that second casino, that competing casino, is stealing market share for your casino. And again, for casino, put in hospital, put in grocery store, put in whatever businesses that are in your mind that you work with. But that competing casino may be stealing market share because of their bingo stuff. So they're attracting an older audience. And I'm sitting there with my client, go, well, how do we target them? Well, pull a data set to target the older audience. So we got income and age, and then send them bingo ads. Okay, simple as that. And people don't take the time, or when they're working with in the future, we got to slow down with how we use digital marketing and use all the assets. Again, I keep saying future because it is right now with what's going on. So just an example there. I could stick on this slide forever. So what really, as we technically say the word future and go into the future, what is at our disposal? I want to emphasize everything that we just did is in the future, and it's going to be more available to you than it ever has been. Okay, so let's go into the future here. Oh, yep, there we go. So obviously, media spend right now. I'm just going to show you some slides. I'm going to buzz through them pretty quick, but they show you the power and the impact of digital marketing. If you're not sold on digital marketing and still doing direct mail, call me. Let's talk. The cookie does crumble. It's not guaranteed to crumble, but it's certainly going to be in different forms, technologies. It already is. And then the Internet of Things, been around for a while. Okay, but that could be one of the biggest ones right there, just for the fact of getting data. Okay, so we're talking the future, but all of this, everything that I'm pointing out right now is going on. And your own digital identity. We'll have a little bit of fun with that, which is currently going on. So we're going to look at some media spends for the future, just so we're all aware of the impact that digital has. This is US spend. And from right now, look at the increase predicted for 2026. 362 billion with a B. It is not going away any soon. Now, I'm not saying the TV's going away, not saying that print's going away, not saying that radio is going away. Okay, but everybody that just heard me say that is probably saying, well, yeah, they're already away. We've got streaming for TV. Thank you. Linear is gone. We've got online print. Okay, so that's completely transformed that industry, and radio with, podcasts and everything. So the world has changed. Again, I know I sound old because I want to recognize it, but it does present the future in there. So ad spending has an impressive increase in the future. Average ad spending growth by the platform here. So what the ecosystem has seen, this is a change from 2021. And people expected this, but they didn't expect it to be this large. Connected TV and OTT. Okay, we just have in the industry, we've combined those, called them streaming. Okay, 53% increase. Talk about the market share of that. Boy, huge. And that's because popularity of TV, but just the platform had changed from linear TV to connect TV to streaming over there. And it is effective. And it's still developing itself for attribution purposes, as you guys know, but being worked on. Social media, bam, bar none, we could all predict this. Okay, and that social media right there, that does include influencer. Okay. Huge increases. Paid search, I thought I didn't think that would be that high. Paid search has been around forever. We're talking SEO and actually SEM in there. And we all probably, many of you probably use paid search very effectively. Just don't let the spend out. OTT right there, that's going to be a video pre-roll and stuff, digital video, a good increase on that. I thought maybe that would come down a little bit with OTT getting so many budgets, but it's still in marketing budgets with video pre-roll in there. Digital display. Digital display was already matured very well in 2021. So I expected to see the smaller increase there, but it's still dominant in there in audio and linear TV and print. Feel sorry for where I used to work, linear TV, radio, and actually I dabbled in print. Kind of funny. Okay. So it is very, very massive. So let's get into the future even more. And I'm doing, I got to speed it up a little bit. Doing well on time here, but I got to hit on this. It's the biggest thing in the news. Okay. The cookie, is it ready to crumble? It already has crumbled right now. They blocked, Safari has blocked it. Firefox has blocked it. Okay. So Google is the main player with its share of the marketplace. But the cookie is going to crumble in a big way. Google announced in 21, excuse me, that the cookie's going to crumble and they're going to use other ways. Permission-based will be the common form for tracking and to get first-party data right now. Again, let's remind ourselves the cookie is the foundation of all digital marketing. So the ecosystem of the future will not go away, and there'll be a lot of first-party location data and behavioral targeting data that is used to replace the cookie. Okay. The funny thing, I'll say that later on. So the future is all privacy, permission-based. We've all heard about, the privacy law started in Europe and then boom, hit the US. How come everything starts in Europe and then we catch up? Then California, big with regulations. The funny thing is, who has it figured out right now? Nobody. Ask Congress. They don't understand it. Who has it figured out? It's the marketing company. It's the Google. It's the Facebook. They control this type of thing. Kind of scares you a little bit, okay? But they're not going to destroy themselves by any means. Google, they came out and said, we are doing this and started providing ways to get around it for their customers. And it's going to happen. Okay, there's always going to be ways to reach users. Again, it's about privacy and permission. And that really is the future there. Internet of Things. How fun is this? With 5G right now, okay, 5G simply is the way to collect mobile attribution, mobile devices, okay, because the mobile devices work their best in 5G and every other generation that comes after it. But what does it do? It connects companies to devices. It connects companies to cars. And we all know this. I mean, I drive a new car and it's connected to the internet type of thing. And it reminds me to do an oil change. Okay. But think how much other information that's being collected when you purchase that car and did not opt out. We wouldn't. Okay. It tells me when to change my oil. This is the Internet of Things, been going on for a while, but think about what the future holds, as this graph says, but think about the opportunities for you as marketers to grab this in the future. I mean, they know where I'm driving my car. They know how often I stop for service, okay, on and on and on. Think about appliances. You got a fridge in your home right now. Is it LG? Everything is connected. All the appliances they're selling have an IP address at home. So let's think of the washer and dryer at home. They know, the company does, for data. That's the point here. They know how often you do laundry. So they could predict how many people you have in your home, okay? The fridge with an IP address, they'll all have in the future. A lot of us do already. That fridge, sensors in it, sends it to the company. Hey, the milk is low and you need bread and apples and all this stuff, and sends you your list, your shopping list. How, consumers in the future are going to welcome this. They already do. We want ads. We want information. We want value via the internet that we work on, and that is the Internet of Things. On and on and on. The Roomba that you have. Okay, if you've got it with an app, which everybody does, that's sending information to the company that you bought it from. You know, there's so many different platforms out there, it's different company, about the size of your home, how it's laid out, how many bedrooms you have, if you're using it upstairs, and what have you. What do? It's data to be used with other data to target you. Okay, so again, you know, I'm giving away the punchline. It's all data and even new forms of data. But I wanted to kind of, hopefully I raised a couple eyebrows in this. Oh, I didn't know that they could get that from my phone or what have you. That is the future. And even with current changes going on. So why wouldn't somebody offer their data and be charged for it right now? And I actually looked into maybe creating a company for this. It's already being done in a big way, but data unions. Okay, so we talked about, well, how much is my data worth? I don't know. Okay, but there will be a future where you can just automatically opt into everything. Okay, and provide your data into a union, which you know is sold to marketers. That's where we come in. We're marketers, and that's fine. That's going to be. It's the way of the future. I mean, it absolutely is. You will be giving up your data. You're already giving up your data, and half the time you don't even know. You will continue to do that. With that comes even bigger walled gardens. Okay, so think of Google. They run the world, by the way. I'll just say that. How big that they are in collecting data and all of its forms. So they have a walled garden. It might make you think, why did they delay getting rid of the pixel or getting rid of the cookie? You know, they announced this in 21. They're big enough. They have the finances, resources, intellectual property to figure this out. Maybe they're waiting a little bit because they're still collecting data, because they're going to be the biggest walled garden out there. Walled garden meaning that they have the data. They can sell it, do with it what they want, sell it at secondary data, you know, predictive behavioral and social groups. So again, with the cookie being gone, we can do this right now and already do. But the future really is the behavioral. What you do online can be collected without a cookie. Contextual, where you go online, can be collected without a cookie many times. And data sets can be derived from that. And then relating that with social groups. So the digital marketers in the future, and currently it's already happening. We can pull social groups right now that all kind of do the same thing. They're all parents of a 15-year-old, and they have 2 cars, and they have this insurance. These are the type of data sets as a group that we're going to offer clients without a cookie or anything. It's just a data set. Okay. And it's device IDs or what have you, it's addresses, whatever it is. Huge. That'll be a big part. It already is a big part. Digital IDs with blockchain technology, which has always been the rage. But talk about something that has offered digital marketing the opportunity. So let's say, for example, again, talking about the future, which is right now, let's say you as an individual or your somebody that you know or what have you. As an individual, think how many purchases or interactions that we do with our insurance company, okay, with our doctor, with our bank, with our leasing company to release a new car, with our schools. I mean, on and on. Think of what we do as consumers and our behavior. There's a lot of interactions to companies where we have to do the following. Fill out a form. I got to go to the doctor's office, orthodontist today with my 10-year-old. I got to fill out another form. They already warned me about it. Show up 15 minutes early. What if I had a digital ID and just said here? And on that ID includes all of my financial information if I want to check to give it to the bank where I'm applying for the loan. So I don't have to go and pull all my financial information, my doctor, all of my healthcare information, my insurance, my driving record would be in there. For my kid's school, his birth certificate, shots. I mean, everything could be on a chip, on a form. I mean, it could be on this pen right here. We're talking future stuff. And I go into the doctor, like I said today, and they say, well, fill out this form. You know, we need health history for your 10-year-old or whatever. I just go here. Boom. There you go. That is certainly, and it's all, you know, blockchain gives us that ability to protect it, create it, and give out what we want. But that certainly could be the future. Okay. Here's one promise I can make, because I'm not a know-it-all on everything. Mobile thrives. Mobile is it. It already is. Okay. If you're not considering mobile campaigns in anything that you're doing, you better bring it in. Okay. Because again, like I asked before, I would imagine 100% of the audience today has their phone sitting beside them, and we all use it. We're actually addicted to it. It's a dopamine hit by many, many people. How many times have you picked up your phone and, oh, why am I looking at this? Darn it. And put it down. Okay. The mobile industry, the digital marketing industry, the ecosystem as a whole realizes that. That's how we connect to the digital marketing system, is through a device. Okay. So way back when it was mail, we'd send mail to have interaction with the outside companies that we work with, and then it was email. And now it's this. And in the future, the device is going to change. Maybe everything's on a pen or something. Okay. Everything changes. Okay. But the ecosystem itself, how marketers reach us, how they gather data from us, the data that they used, is always going to be there. And it's mobile in any one of its forms. Okay. Content is always going to be required, because if you're not providing, you as a marketer, if you're not providing value to your customers, or the business that you work for is not providing value to your customers, they're not going to click, they're not going to forward, they're not going to like, they're not going to right click and read it or fill the form type of thing. So I say value, but I say content as well. Content is king. Look at the social platforms. Look at, TikTok. We're going to run out of time to hit on that. Content is absolutely king. Mobile is king. I'm going to speed it up here. And with that comes influencer marketing. Very, very will influence the world, in a big way, because it already has one of the fastest growing ones out there. So social platforms right now, this is broken out by the platforms that we know about today. How soon do we think these are going to change? Okay, is Facebook going to be around? Maybe it's just around for a certain demo. We all see the demo changes going in there. And then Instagram, look at the growth of Instagram and predicted growth of Instagram. Okay, Instagram is mainly for the influencers. If you've got a branding product, maybe not a click to buy, but you start with branding. Where's your path of funnel that you're trying to work on? Boy, you better have some influencer. Okay, and they're going to see it in a mobile ad. So it was stated, I just would like to point this out right away. It was stated the future state of TikTok in one of the questions. Okay, right now, I didn't even realize this until a couple of weeks ago. 2.6 million for a one-day run of top view ad for TikTok. Buy some stock, people. Head over to China, get this stuff. Really, really amazing what they've been able to do. Okay, but a lot's going to change, and they're already doing it. It's a video sharing platform, but they're taking the edge in regards to purchases. They're going to set up purchases, and everything get cut into Amazon's budget big time. So all of these people are fighting for future market share, future consumers and customers in a big way. That will continue. That's why I say there could be new platforms or conglomerate of platforms to bring together. But I want to emphasize again, TikTok is about value or content or a combination of both. That's what makes it so attractive in there. And what they're doing, people really can't get enough of this current platform. It's the most addictive per month. Again, it's the dopamine hit that we as marketers know that the consumers are looking for. Okay, and this could all change as well very easily. So really the future is here now. Sorry about the cliche, but it really is, and it's about data. Okay, so I'm going to just conclude, and a lot of you experienced marketers know this information, but I just pulled up something. And again, this is not covering everything, but just a reminder, there's different forms of advertising here. So we have programmatic, which is simply display ads or streaming ads. We have social media in all of its glory, influencer in a separate box, Google ads, okay, SEO, SEM, and organic social, okay, syndication and pushing. This is just a simple view of reporting for each one of those. because I know you guys, a lot of you are asking, how do I make an advertising campaign in the future more effective? Here's the rub. Know your KPI, know where your purchase is in the funnel. Are they at the branding stage, intent stage, or are they clicking to buy type of thing? That will dictate, one, maybe what platform that you use, two, the data that you use to get them to the buy, or if it's a branding campaign with influence or what have you. So know the funnel, whether it's upper, mid, or low, okay? And use the data. Here's an example of all the data. Now, this isn't data of the consumer. This is data of the campaigns that you guys run on a daily basis. And you should be looking at all of this stuff. It's all out there available to optimize your campaigns, or have your team or your digital company be optimized. And they should be able to show you this. I can just tell you stories of new clients in this ecosystem, and they were using the wrong data. I mean, on and on and on. So with that being said, I am running out of time. Hopefully you guys, there were a couple nuggets in there. Again, the future is now, soon to change, will continue to change, but it's about data.
Thank you so much, Dano, for sharing your insight with us today. We are running a bit short on time for our Q&A section. I may throw you one quick question, and then we will plan to follow up with you all via email after the session. And then again, there is some contact information in the chat for both myself and for Dano, and you can reach us that way as well if you have any specific concerns or needs for your company. But we have up on the screen a couple of little reminders about upcoming events for AMASB as well, so you can read those as we go through our quick question. So one question I feel may be relevant to this particular group is, how can PR best be used in a complementary manner with digital marketing?
Can I just be snide? How can it not? Okay, you've got access to any data set that you want. Okay, so PR, a couple different definitions for that, but let's just call it a public relations. So let me give you a quick, to be a 30-second story. So I know a company, mine works with a transportation state. Okay, they're having a lot of bad PR because the amount of construction they're doing on 4 different byways, freeways in a certain part of the area. Okay, so we provide data, a digital marketing company provided data addresses for them to do a digital campaign targeting those people. Sorry about the mess. Make sure you hang a right on 47th and not go straight, type of thing. Quick story. Negative story. Why not? If you have a negative story out there, that happens to the PR departments a lot, why not pick your audience? Or if you have a CRM, that's who's being affected by the negative story about that company. Okay, and create a landing page. You can do it in a day. Have your PR person ready in a day to explain what happened, or that event, or that accident at work. Have a landing page. Do a paid campaign and send that landing page out. Put it on your influencers and what to explain. Hey, you know, this is how it happened and why, and here's what we're doing to fix it. Okay, but and many other things. So why would you not? How would you not? Is my answer.
Totally fair. Thank you, Dano. I wanted to point out that up on the screen, there is also a code for $5 off registration for our fall happy hour that we have coming up, and then a preview on our upcoming signature event, which we're very excited in the planning stages of, for October 26th. And I think I have time, if you're able to stay on, for one more question to throw your way, Dano. If you have to leave, we totally understand.
No, go ahead.
This recording will be sent out to you all after the fact. Dano, do you have a dollar amount that you recommend for small businesses who are considering digital marketing over local print advertising?
Yeah, a specific dollar amount is always tough to find. That's the number one question the clients and myself are always asking. I'll kind of turn it around. I'm sorry, but you can't answer the specific question unless the client knows their KPI. What are we trying to achieve? Where's my, do I want to target branding, intent, or call to action? Those three things, the funnel is so important in digital marketing because it's going to dictate your the platforms that you use, how you optimize, and the creative that you use, and on and on and on. So to answer that question, I would go to a company and say, this is what we'd like to achieve. What does it cost to do it? But you need to tell them what you're trying to achieve. And I don't mean not to answer the question, But in some platforms, you get what you pay for. If it's 5,000 in SEM, you're going to get 5,000 worth of clicks. And other platforms, it's not. You get what you pay for because they need to know the KPI in an influencer platform or something like that. What is the end goal? Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Dano, and thank you to all of our attendees today. We really appreciate you joining in on this conversation and look forward to following up with you all afterward. We hope to see you in person at our fall kickoff event on September 15th. And we will be sending out an email follow-up with a little survey as well as the link to this recording via Eventbrite this week. Thank you all again, and I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon.